Ooh, how's everybody doing? Okay, it's about 7:30 in the morning. I've been taping since 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm no longer drinking, but I'm drinking tea. Nice ginger tea. Oh my! There's always a first time. There's always a first time, but I'm gonna be doing so much work today because aside from just doing birth charts, I write anthropological series and I do other things, and I'm writing a new play to prepare for the next season. So, it's a lot going on, and I'm throwing a party for Christmas Day and a party for New Year's Day. So I'm hosting a party here, and I'm going to tape it, because I want you guys to be a part of that. I'll talk more about that in a little while. But we are going to continue with part two of Aries and Capricorn. We talked about the fact that Aries and Capricorn are two cardinal signs, Earth and air. And the best analogy when we're dealing with harmony, when we're dealing with Mother Nature, is that we say that the air of the atmosphere, of our stratosphere, ionosphere, toposphere, where we have our radio waves, where we have our pressures, where planes can fly, right? The air element above the earth, above 34,000 feet, is a different world in and of itself, aside from what happens down on the earth plane, which is another world unto itself. They can both function harmoniously, separate as two distinct units. Oh yes, oh yes. But when there is disharmony, then you have a situation like a tornado scorching through the earth and destroying it, and leaving death and destruction in its path, like, for example, Tornado Alley in America's heartland, right? So that could be a negative example of earth and air colliding and engaging in a collision. Well, then you have the positive, where they both can exist independent of each other, each relying on its own nomenclature or functionality, which doesn't always have to relate to each other. And that's the beauty of earth and air. Even though it's a square, it is a square that can work. But again, it takes compromise. And one of the factors that's also very important with this combination is the age. Capricorn is father time. He rules time and age, right? So things don't really become balanced with Capricorn until you reach a certain amount of age, and then the experience that's comparable with the age. So that in itself carries quite a bit of weight. Libra is a little bit more faint-hearted than that. And Libra might not appreciate, not really enjoy that type of regiment discipline. Libra is ruled by Venus, Aphrodite. Well, you don't take life that seriously. Whereas with Capricorn, ruled by Saturn, the Lord of the Rings, which is what my shawl symbolizes. All these tribes symbolize the rings of Saturn. And my earring, if you know, is a planet with rings of Saturn. And there's also here, again, you see the rings of Saturn. So, Saturn is very important because it offers stability and structure and not much room for mistakes, So it's a very no-nonsense sign. Oh, it tastes delicious, but it's so hot I can barely sip it. I can barely sip it, but it's delicious though. It's a jasmine. Mm. Oh, guys, it's good, but it's still it's just a little bit too hard. But anyway, we're gonna go jump right in and go into the specificity of Libra and Capricorn relating or interpersonal relationships. Okay. Okay. So we are going to begin with some of the pros and cons, but some preliminaries that are very necessary that have to be discussed. Uh, both signs have quite a strong difference of opinion on what most things, on most things. Okay, this makes the romance department a battlefield or a dungeon of kinky makeup sex. So it's a battlefield when it's a battlefield, but then when things get better, then it becomes a dungeon of sex and all kinds of delights. You know, going into the more darker nature of both the signs. Traditionally, these two signs do not offer any kind of compatibility that one would observe on the surface. Okay, mutual respect and I would say humor. Mutual respect and honor is actually what I have here for each person. Uh, uh, is also important. Okay, uh, you have to value who you are. These people have to value who they are within each other for this relationship to actually work with a Libra and a Capricorn. To offer in an interpersonally relationship is an evolution of the relationship which happens over time. So for both Libra and Capricorn, what this means is that for both Libra and Capricorn to survive each other, it is a possibility that with this combination, they have to evolve over time. They're not going to get to know each other right away and off the bat. And again, another factor that this combination is contingent upon is also the age. If you're that much younger than 30, then the discovery of yourselves and the relationship will take a longer haul. Because if you don't know yourselves individually, you're not gonna know how to foster another body, which is the relationship, which is separate from you and the person. It's three bodies: you, he, and the relationship. And both of you have to be at a certain level of maturity to then be able to nurture and foster and bring the best of you forward each other and bring it out in each other, and then make that also be a part of the foundation that fosters a healthy relationship. Okay, so it's getting so that's a process, and that takes time and it takes maturity on both sides. So that's one thing that is I mean, it's just paramount. It just has to happen that way. Okay. You know, okay. So, over time, what this means is that the Capricorn, which rules time, father time, or personifying the father time, will eventually dictate what the evolutionary flow of the relationship will be like. Okay, so from the two, like again, who's the boss? From the two cardinal signs, which one will be the boss? In this instance, it will be Capricorn. Capricorn will be the boss because Capricorn rules time, is father time. So the relationship eventually has to reach a certain progression, and if it doesn't, and the comparable standards that should go with that progression, then there's going to be a problem with Capricorn with this relationship with Libra or any other sign actually, because there has to be an evolutionary process happening over time, and if that's not happening within each individual and the relationship as a whole, then you can't really expect much to occur down the long haul as far as sustainability. Yeah, yeah. Uh, the ginger just gives you a nice kick. And it cuts the alcohol, you become so sober so quickly. Okay. So understand that the one in control in this relationship, you know, in this instance, would be Capricorn. Capricorn in this instance will be in control as the cardinal sign, because again, if things are not moving up to the evolution that the Capricorn has in mind, because he has an agenda, then it's not gonna work out for Miss Libra either. Okay, so it will be difficult. Or it will either the relationship between a Libra and a Capricorn will run smoothly, or it will run with difficulty. Okay, if not, what would be the lesson to learn? Like I have here. That's true, because I think both sides will be bored of each other if they don't put any fire in each other's butt. You know, I remember these are cardinal signs, so they're not just not gonna down with each other and fiddle at their thumbs. If they don't find an outlet in which that they can bring about these immense energies to create a greater good, then they're going to attack each other. So understand that there is no being at peace or being at rest with a cardinal sign if there's too much time on your hands and you don't know what to do with it. That in itself can be just as equally destructive. Okay. So, from the perspective of Mr. Capricorn, being in that kind of situation will prove stagnant and non-productive. Okay, what will be that same lesson from the perspective of Libra, however, will be that there will be an obvious need to strike a balance. So Capricorn will detect the problem, but it is Libra that will have to move towards striking a balance to create a balance. Because Capricorn can single out and pull out what's wrong, but Libra will be the one that will be entrusted and expected upon to bring the relationship to balance. See? Now, depending on how one may feel behind that, that may be Libra might feel unfair about it. Maybe she's being put the burden of the responsibility of having to deal with fixing the relationship, maintaining the relationship, and then if something goes wrong, well, they're gonna bury the hatchet on who? The woman, because it's never always the man that gets the brunt of it. It becomes Libra, and then that becomes a liability for her because she rules society as much as Capricorn does. And equal standing and standing in status, both of them, is extremely important. One is not going to cut or undercut the other, But if that were to happen, the one that will probably do it first will be Mr. Capricorn to Libra. Yeah, yeah, sure would. Sure would. Absolutely would. Okay. Okay. It's, in order to survive a relationship with a Capricorn Libra, the key note here would be to strike a balance. There has to be a meeting of the minds and a meeting of the hearts. And actually, this does eventually happen. The problem is that it doesn't happen without a fight, without a struggle, without some kind of metamorphosis, which requires a certain degree of pain. Yeah, because with cardinal signs, it seems to be that that's the best way that they learn is through this way. Not any other way, but this particular way. Yeah. You know, otherwise, they're not going to respect each other's strengths in each other. You know, they have to put it on the try and true, put it on the chop board and see if it withstands the durability of its worth through time or through endurance. Endurance being Libra and through time with Capricorn. Yeah, yeah. It can be, again, it can become a battle of wills. Uh huh. Both Libra and Capricorn seek status and social power and influence. Okay, let's just put that out the back. Capricorn seeks to be the very type of success. Libra too wants to be the successful and the influential one as well, but for different reasons than Mr. Capricorn. She seeks luxury and ease of comfort. You know, Capricorn wants tangible assets so he can expect, or not expect, but to exert control, power, and influence for the purpose of obtaining unprecedented respect from others. Because, from his peers, especially, particularly. Because for Capricorn, that's very important to him. That's very important to him to have that sense of status and respect, and that he gets the respect and honor that he is due from those around him, his peers, and his community, within his community. Both signs are driven by ambition. That's the other thing. Ambition is what really drives their relationship. Not so much passion, but ambition. And there's a difference. Both Libra and Capricorn avoid feelings and don't like to talk about issues concerning the emotions. That can drive them together in a way that's not really very healthy. And it can certainly, over time, drive them apart because both of them can be very good at avoiding each other's feelings and avoiding their own inner feelings. And that may work for a while, but over time, it does reach a head. It does reach a sense of polarization over time. Hmm. Yeah. Both signs can ignore both sides can ignore the emotional reality of the other. And that's deep, okay? This can go on for years and years. Feeling and emotions are simulated rather than genuinely felt. Oh, yeah, from both Libra and Capricorn. This gets better, however, as one gets older. Because again, it's the releasing of the layers of fear and accepting trust, and that's a process, and that's a layering. The individual birth chart will be the smoking gun, which will reveal the real essence of the soul of the person. So it depends on the individual birth chart. The conflict with the relationship will occur in the domestic life of the couple. So the real issue is gonna deal with the minutia of life, the minutiae of life of the couple. Okay. In the domestic life of the couple, not too keen in playing the housewife. Libra is not too keen in playing the housewife. Okay, not playing the role for too long. Capricorn will expect Libra to handle the daily humdrum of domestic life of cleaning and cooking. Yeah. Capricorn expects tradition to be maintained and respected. Libra can play the game, but that doesn't mean she has to, though. Okay? Finances can become an issue if one likes to spend more than the other. And that will probably be Libra that would like to spend more than Mr. Capricorn. One likes to save more than the other, and that will be Mr. Capricorn that will probably would like to save more than Mr. Libra will be inclined to save. Mr. Capricorn might not be too inclined to see also Miss Libra's flirtatious ways when they are in a social setting or company. Because sometimes Miss Libra forgets that she married and gets carried away, and that could be a situation that can irritate Mr. Capricorn, especially if it embarrasses him. Because the social status is extremely important to Mr. Capricorn. Extremely important. So she can be a little bit oop oop be doop, depending on which of the four types, and that can cause like a little problem if it's not ironed out, and if he doesn't understand which one he's dealing with, he can get caught off guard or by surprise, and in the process become embarrassed. So the flirting is something that can drive Mr. Capricorn crazy. It can drive him crazy. Okay. Traditionally, these two signs are seen as signs incompatible with each other. Usually, it doesn't work. That's what traditionally the books say, That's what they say. But I think any relationship can work if one puts energy, time, and effort in it. It can work. I'm telling you. I know it can. These two have more in common than one would realize, even though one gets the opposite effect that it's not really what it is. But it is. Traditionally, these two signs are seen as signs incompatible with each other, and it doesn't work. The relationship eventually dissolves. That's what most people or most of the book says. Capricorn wants to build on what is already here or available. Libra wants to experiment and wants to function outside the box. Okay, Capricorn is concerned with the tried and true. Libra wants to venture out where angels fear to tread. Arguments can become heated because Capricorn will not care for compromise, while Libra will want to be inclined to compromise. Okay? Now, 5 secret ways to Libra's heart that a Capricorn should work on should be: flatter her ego, opt for luxury loving, love her in luxurious surroundings and pamper her. Okay, give Libra some self-respect. Teach her to value herself and to respect herself in ways that maybe she may not see in another angle other than herself. You might give her another perspective on that. It's not indecision, it's fair-mindedness. Don't see that the fact that she seems indecision is the fact that she's not capable of making a decision. It's that she's trying to be fair at all costs. Okay, and you're going to have to, Mr. Capricorn, learn to live a separate life, a life independent of hers, so that you can give her some perspective and allow her to miss you and allow her to value you and you her. There has to be a little bit of distance. Now, what she should be aware of also, in order to get to the heart of a Capricorn, is 5 essential things. Balance seriousness with fun. Be fun and funny, but also be serious. Learn a new definition of romance. Keep it fresh and keep it sensual and keep it where he's the prize. Okay? Buy a sex manual and involve each other in sexual exploration and experimentation and role play. It can be kinky and fun, and Capricorns loves that. Especially games of dominant and passive, like sadomasochist or Marquis du Sade. Capricorn loves that. Don't get it twisted. He's a devil. Okay, remove all doubts from your language, all doubts whatsoever, and always encourage him when he's in doubt. And also offer commitment. Let him know that you are willing to commit. And we're done with this segment. Bye.